Hi everyone. This is a quick tutorial on a few basics about deploying a node.js app to Openshift, how to set up a database, and how to generate an SSH key for your application so that you can remote into the server via PuTTY when you need to. So first of all, you need to create an Openshift account. You just go over here and it'll bring you to a page where you sign up. The only thing that's required is your email, and I've already signed in myself. So once you create an account, take a look at this My Account dropdown and go to the Openshift web console. From here we can begin deploying our first application. So as you can see, there are many different types of languages and frameworks along with different types of the databases that we can use. But we're going to be using a Node.js application using the Sails framework and a PostgreSQL database to go along with it. So to begin creating your application, you want to scroll down all the way to the bottom here and select the Node.js latest, not this one, not the 0.10, the latest version, which will bring you to this configuration page. Next, type in the name of your application. We'll go with test here, and the namespace as well. This needs to be unique, so we'll just go with Openshift tutorial. Next, we need to copy and paste the URL to the GitHub repository. I'm just going to use this baseline sales app that I created earlier. So copy the paste in that in there, and then type in the branch that you want to see. None of this stuff really matters that much. You don't really need scaling, and you're going to stick with the USD server from now. So now you're just going to hit the Create Application button and let Openshift do its work. Okay, so now a few minutes later, we've got our application created. If you hit this Applications tab up here, it'll bring up all the apps that you have on your domain. So we're going to hit Test, then you can see that we have our application right here. This is the hyperlink. So I'm just going to open a new tab, and look, here it is. Just a vanilla sales app with nothing changed. And you can see it's being hosted on here. So the next step for us is to add our database. We're going to use the PostgreSQL 9.2 database for this project. So you're going to hit this link, which will bring you to this page, and say add cartridge to our application. So you can see this is PostgreSQL 9.2. It's a relational database system, open source. And now we're just going to hit add cartridge. So creating the database takes a lot shorter time than creating the application itself. And once the cartridge is open, we will see the root username, password, database name, and the connection URL. This is all really important, so you should probably copy and save it somewhere, so you don't have to keep referring to this page. So the next part of this is going to be creating a SSH key in order to connect to the server and manually make changes to the application if need be. So you're going to need two applications for this. You're going to use PuTTygen and PuTTy itself. You're going to go to this link up here, which I'll put in the description, and you're going to want to download PuTTy and PuTTygen. So first of all, we're going to want to generate a private and public SSH key for accessing this application. So we'll open up PuTTygen and hit generate. Now to generate some randomness, we're going to move our mouse around here, and here we go. We have our private, or this is our public SSH key, and then we can save our private one. What we're going to do to save our private key is we're going to go down here, and I'm not going to password protect it, and I'm just going to save it to my desktop as evan.ppk. Pretty simple. So now the next part of this is to use this public key and add it to our application so we can access it using the private key that we created. So you're going to copy this and head on over to your site and hit add an SSH public key to your account. You can also hit that one down there. So now you're going to copy and paste your public key in here and then give it a name. I'm going to call this one Evan as well. Then hit create. So this adds a public key to your application. You can see it's called Evan SSH key. Contents are shortened, and you can add new keys here. And you can also see that these are the authorizations. So this is my machine accessing Openshift online. So now we can remotely access the server using PuTTY itself. So we got PuTTY open over here. So in order to open the application and the server itself, you hit the application, and it says, and then go to this remote access part. It'll say want to log into your application, and then it'll bring up this key. You're going to copy and paste that, go over to PuTTY, and then copy and paste this in here, and then just get rid of the leading SSH. Now you're going to go down to the SSH portion of the connection tab, and then the auth category inside that itself. And you're going to hit browse, and you're going to look for your SSH or your PPK, which we saved earlier, which is right here. And we're going to open that. Head back up to session. One of the things that's really helpful for accessing this multiple times is to save it. So I just call it E for now. And we're going to save it, and there it is. It'll save both the host name and the private key. So now we just hit open. You can see that this error just pops up. You just can hit yes. And we now have access to the server that it's on. You can see it's hosted by Amazon. And so now you can do a lot of neat things with this interface. You can access the database's command line and create schemas and tables. You can even edit the code itself, which is under the app deployments folder. It's either that one or app, I can't remember. But you can see that it has the node.js libraries in here, and it also has the PostgreSQL libraries. So if you want to edit the code, you can go in here every time and use VI, because this is a Linux machine that it's running on. But it's a lot easier to just use it to just edit the code and deploy it with Git. So I'll show you that now. Okay, so now that we have everything set up, we're going to use Git in order to get the remote repository for the project, and so we can upload our edited code directly to the server itself and have the server restart by itself, instead of having to go into PuTTY, edit all the code with VI, which takes forever, and then restart the app manually. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to need to have a Ruby gem installed called RHC. And this command is gem install RHC. I already have it installed. You need to make sure that you have less than Ruby 2. Ruby 1.9 is preferred. So once you have Ruby installed, you're going to, once you have RHC installed, you're going to type in RHC setup, and this will bring you to this portion, and it'll ask for a server host name. This is the default. You're going to use this. Hit enter. If this is your first time logging in, it'll ask you for your email or your username. I've already logged in before, so this is what mine is. So it pops up this, and it just prompts you for your password. So I logged in, and this will just ask you if you want to store a token, so you don't have to type in your password every time. We'll say no. And so now this part will generate another SSH key. I've already done so. It will prompt you if you want to upload it directly to Openshift into your application so you can access the repository on the server itself. You're going to want to say yes, and then it will check for applications, and you see we got our test right here, and we're using 1 of 3 gears. So now our client tools are configured and we can clone the repository. So now what we want to do on here on our Openshift console is go to our Applications tab again, open up our application, you see right here, and then we're going to want to copy the source code SSH string right here. So what I figured we could do was change the title of this. It won't take that long, and it'll just show you how you can edit this stuff with Git really quickly. So in order to clone the repository onto your machine, you can type in git clone and then the SSH URL. If you're logged in and you have the private key, RHC will look for this and it will make sure that you are actually authorized to clone this, and then it will make a repository and it's going to be under test. It'll be saved as whatever the application is called. So in order to quickly edit this, I'll just go to views, and then I'm just going to edit the layout.ejs in order to change the title real quick. So I'm just going to use Vim. So as you can see, I have the file open right here, and I'm just going to change the title to something. It doesn't really matter. I'll just say hello tutorial, and I'll just save this. Now, to load this onto your application, you're going to type in git add space period. This will queue all of the files and differentiated files onto the commit lineup, and then you simply commit and just enter your changes, whatever. So you can see we changed one file, we added something to it, and now just type in git push, and this will take a little while. Basically, it'll push all this stuff to the server and reboot the application. The part that takes the longest actually is rebooting the application. So I'll just talk about some of the other stuff you can do on here and some of the limitations of this. So again, authorizations, you get about 30 days for each authorization. So after that, you'll have to log in again. It's not that big of a deal, but I'll just show you where let's bring up Putty again. So again, this uses a different private key that we generated earlier. But what will actually happen is when you can see this is still chugging away. It's rebooting right now. This will change the app root folder, and it will be in the runtime folder, and the repo folder in there, And then, so now this is the application. You can see that it's all Node. Basically, no, it knows what to do. So in order to figure out what the application actually needs, because you don't install the node or you don't commit the node modules, Openshift will run an npm install on your base or on your directory, and it will look in your package and download any dependencies into the node modules folder. So that's pretty neat. And then it'll just run an npm start. So make sure you have those scripts, or you just need an npm start that calls your main application. And so now I'm just going to show you what's in the views. So as you can see, these are the views that we had earlier, and the view that we just edited. So in layout.js, I will open this up with vi. That's not what I meant to say. So so it just changed actually. So see, I wrote hello tutorial up here, and it's done rebooting, but I'll just explain this. So the stuff gets committed, and then once the runtime, and then it gets committed to the runtime folder, which is right here, and then it will reboot the application itself. So let's see if this is done. Sometimes it 503s. Okay, there you go. You can see that it rebooted, and we changed the title. So thanks for watching. Hope this helped out.